The age-long conflict between governors and their deputies, well, it has remained a severe problem within Nigeria. And analysts say that the situation is doing more harm than good, as it's weakened the electorate's freedom to choose who they should oversee the operations of their respective states at any given time. As a result of the disagreements between the two, good governance suffers, but experts have urged for a constitutional revision of the deputy governor's status across the states of the Federation. Former Benue State Governor, Senator Gabriel Suswam, well, he joins us now to speak on the relevance of a deputy governor in Nigeria's democracy and how to improve working relationships between them and their principals. He will also be discussing PDP's future, the reconciliation role of Wike, and the threat by 60 PDP House of Representative members to quit the party over allegations of doctoring lists of caretaker committees for states, especially in Rivers State. So good afternoon. Great to have you here on Newsday. Welcome back.
Yeah, good afternoon.
There's quite a lot we have to get through. But first of all, this issue with deputy governors and governors themselves. As we know in the Constitution, it doesn't expressly assign any powers to the deputy governor. Is this something that needs to be re-looked at in order to maybe calm some of the tension that we've been seeing within our democracy since 1999?
Well, thank you very much. Let me say that the draft out of our Constitution were conscious of certain key factors as it relates to the relationship between the deputy governor and the governor, and actually the role of the deputy governor in the governance of a state. Yes, the Constitution did not expressly assign any role to the deputy governor. But the role of the deputy governor in the running of any government, whether it is at the national level or at the sub-regional level, which is the state, is very, very significant. First, why have a deputy governor in the first place if he will not do anything? That should be the question. But to answer that question, one would say that the draft out of the Constitution knew that the work that is assigned to the governor is very enormous. And as a natural human being, you need somebody who can assist you in carrying out those responsibilities. And so it is left to some large extent at the discretion of the governor to assign roles to the deputy governor. It is expected that because the work is very enormous, a natural human being will naturally need some assistance and then give that work to the deputy governor. It is also anticipated that in the event that the governor is incapacitated in any way or under any circumstances unable to perform those functions can be transferred to the deputy governor. Let it not be a situation where there is no proper person and then it can result into some level of attrition in finding who will take over when a governor is unable to perform the function. I believe that it depends on the individuals. I was a governor and I had very, very good working relationship with my deputy, who was much older than me, but we found common grounds of working together because you are elected on the same ticket and you are expected to work for the common good of the people. So for me, I didn't see any reason why I should be bossing over somebody who is elected with me to perform the same function with me, but in an assistant position. So we worked very well. But one of the basic problems that I see is that most time, most deputy governors will want to take over from the governors. And because of some sentiments attached to the way we play politics here, most governors are not selected from the areas that the governor will be zoned to after the tenure of the incumbent governor finishes. And in most times, that presents a big challenge because you have, for instance, you have a situation where maybe you have zone A, B, and C, and the governor will be zoned after the incumbent one had completed to maybe zone B. And somebody who is selected from zone C. Now, at the end of that, it becomes very difficult for such a person or the people to agree that simply because this person was governor, he should take over from the incumbent governor. So those are some of the challenges that I see happen when a deputy governor comes out and says, look, I want to take over from the incumbent governor. But I think it also has to do a lot, like I said, with the individuals and how the governor and the deputy governor are related in the discharge of their responsibility as governor and deputy governor. So individual character, individual idiosyncrasies have a lot to do with what happened or what has been happening as far as the relationship between governors and deputy governor is concerned.
But talking about succeeding a governor, is there anything that can be done to provide a level playing field, for all political aspirants, instead of a governor anointing and in some cases, enthroning his successor through a sham election?
Yeah, you see, they talked about constitutional amendment. The Constitution, the intention of a Constitution is not to regulate the daily lives of people or the dispositions of people. It is to guide. And based on that, it is believed that as sensible human beings will be well guided by the provisions of the Constitution. So amending the Constitution to address that will be going into too much details. It is expected that when you are leaving office, I'm a corporate, so let me not exonerate myself. When you are leaving office, you should ordinarily give a level playing field, as you've said, to all aspirants to that position. But, because our society is such a very sentimental and emotional society, and so you have people coming to tell you so many things that this person, you give this person up, he might go ahead and lock you up, or he would do this, he would do that. And as human beings, the likelihood of you listening to those kind of advices or those kind of talks is very high. And most of us listen to it, and then you make the mistakes of either trying to bring somebody who you think that cannot do you anything. But that has not worked. But we don't learn. It has not worked anywhere where you bring somebody to succeed you and that person is dancing to your tunes. It has never happened anywhere. And so people should ordinarily learn from those mistakes. But it's difficult for people to learn. So we keep struggling. I will make this one. This is the person who will do this for me. It has never happened before. So I think that with evolution of time in our democracy, I believe that we'll get there. It's just that in the case of our own democracy in Nigeria, instead of enhancing democracy in our country, we're rather retrogressing in everything that we're doing. So I don't know how we will address this. It's difficult because if we say that if I'm governor, that I won't do this, you are lying, because the circumstances that you meet on ground will dictate otherwise. You have your own people telling you stories. You have your siblings, you have your friends who are saying, look, we've been going around, and this man you want to make governor is somebody who doesn't like you, so he will mess you up. So as a human being, you listen to it. So it's a very difficult thing, as a matter of fact. So it will be difficult for me to say that constitutional amendment alone is enough to address that. It won't, because there are a series of areas where the constitution has been amended to address some deficit in whatever it is. It has not addressed that. For instance, the issue of local government and a host of other areas. So that constitutional amendment will not work. It is that we matured in the democracy. Maybe we'll adapt the system in America. There are some states in America, for instance, California. The ticket for the governor is different from the ticket for the deputy governor. So you might have a deputy governor in a different party and a governor in a different party. Maybe we should try that. Maybe that will work and that will solve the problem.
You know, that's actually a very interesting idea that you've thrown out there. And being a former governor yourself, I'm sure you have many more of those, especially, you know, seeing how the rest of the world works. Do you have any other ideas as to how to foster better relationships between the deputy governor and the governor? Because right now it seems that it is counterproductive, and it would go to show that two heads are better than one, especially if they're on the same train of thought. Go ahead, please.
I think the areas that I would recommend constitutional amendment as far as this issue is concerned is where the Constitution should copiously provide functions for the deputy governor that, look, the deputy governor should oversee this ministry or this area. Once that is done, it becomes mandatory for a governor to give those responsibilities to the deputy governor. Once the deputy governor has some level of responsibility and is carrying them out, I believe that that will solve a lot of problems. Maybe not the conflict that will exist between the governor and the deputy governor, but in a situation where the deputy governor is just not doing anything, and it's at total discretion of the governor to assign any responsibility to a deputy governor. I think that is wrong. So in that area, I will recommend that there should be some constitutional amendment that will give some mandatory responsibilities to a deputy governor so that he's not totally idle. You have a lot of deputy governors, as I talk to you, who are just moving around. They don't have no responsibility. You go to their offices, they're gisting or taking tea. They're not doing anything. Meanwhile, taxpayers' money is used in providing vehicles for them, paying their salaries, and providing other services that are associated with our office. Meanwhile, he's not performing any of those functions. So I think the Constitution should be amended, especially as it relates to the issue of functions or responsibilities of a deputy governor. But when it comes to relationship, that one you can't regulate it. There's no constitution that will be able to regulate the way I will relate with you. So that is an area that will be left to the maturity of our democracy and to maturity of minds that are the practitioners of this democracy.
Very well said. Well, I'd like us to talk a bit, about the PDP following its several defeats at the polls since 2015, and of course the internal sabotage that played a part in the party's loss at the 2023 general elections. What efforts are being made right now to reunite all aggrieved members and re-strategize for 2027?
Well, our party has been comatose since after we lost the elections. And decisions that would have been taken in order to reconcile the divergent interests that emerged during that period have not been taken. And so it has been difficult for PDP to provide the needed viable opposition that one would have expected. And so we decided, a few of us decided that there's a need for us to take a step of faith and let us see if we can put this party together. Because of that, a meeting has been put for the 17th and 18th where we believe that major decisions will be taken on all the issues that affect the party. First and foremost, we don't have a substantive chairman. Since there was a crisis that led to Dr. Yochayu, the former Senate president, stepping aside. That position has been occupied by the acting chairman, who is the deputy chairman, not. Now, the things that people expect that the leadership of the PDP, the acting leadership of the PDP would take, have not been taken. We find some very ridiculous things. For instance, where a situation where it was alleged that the minority leadership in the National Assembly was given by another party. It has never happened. It has always been the party, the secretariat, that would say it's okay, these are the leaders of the party who will represent us in the National Assembly. That, as we're told, was done by parties other than the party, the PDP. We've just heard the notice was given that those executives at the ward level and the local government level in about 11 states or so, whose tenure have expired and were expected to hold Congress, that tenure has been extended. There's no reason why Congresses should not be held. About a year now, we've not held any one single meeting. And the constitution of the PDP provides for periodic meetings at the level of NEC. That has not happened. So we're wondering what the leadership is doing. Also, the same constitution provides that once a national officer is unable to act, the zone from where he comes from should provide a replacement. Why the deputy to that office should act for some months. We have an acting chairman for 1 year, and he has not held any NEC meeting. He has not taken any major decision that we give people the excitement or the encouragement to support what the party is doing. Nobody knows what is happening. We only hear that they have extended the tenure of people who tenure have expired just because they want to satisfy some individuals who wants to hold the party down. And so we're saying that that cannot happen. PDP is not a party that was built by one person. It was a collective of progressive minds who came together and felt that let us build an inclusive party. Certain individuals want to take over PDP, and once they are unable to do that, they want PDP destroyed. I don't think that as a very serious stakeholder in PDP who has benefited immensely, because I went to House of Reps for 8 years, I became governor for 8 years, I was in the Senate for 4 years under the platform of PDP. So there's no way that I can stand by and watch some people want to destroy the party simply because they have money or they're in a position. We are making efforts that for those who feel strong about reconciling PDP, we will do so. For those who don't want, let us leave PDP so that those who want to be in PDP and reconcile it and focus the party will do so. You don't want to be a part of an organization and you insist that you'll be there. And you are there, you are not respecting the regulations that binds that society together. I don't think that is correct. And I don't think that any reasonable person should accept that. Some people for peanuts are just going about and then holding the party down. Those of us who are beneficiaries, who believe in PDP, would never accept that kind of situation to continue. And we're taking steps towards that.
All right, and still on the note of reconciliation and anti-party activities, what do you make of this recent call for the resignation of the acting PDP chairman, Umar Damagum, for anti-party activities? There are about 60 lawmakers on the federal level who have threatened to defect.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask the acting chairman to resign. I will ask him simply to go back to his position as deputy national chairman, because the constitution of the party, under Article 47 sub 6, clearly, in no ambiguous terms, states that once a vacancy becomes available, arising from the non-performance or resignation of a national officer, in this case the national chairman, who is Dr. Yoche Ayu, then the zone from where he comes from should bring a replacement. This is over a year. People are just engaged in all kinds of shenanigans so that would not be possible. They give all kinds of excuses that Ayu is in court, he hasn't resigned. We will cross that bridge when we get there. But nothing stopped the North Central from providing a replacement. You see that we don't have people who have the capacity to occupy that position. A leadership that refused to obey the Constitution That is a document, that is a grand norm that regulates the activities of the party. Over our party, you are refusing to obey the Constitution. There's a problem with that, and we must take it very seriously. And that is why we are saying that if PDP must be a party that Nigerians will respect, they must first and foremost start respecting the Constitution, the document that regulates activities within PDP, which provide copiously those provisions in the party. So all we are saying is that the North Central should provide a replacement. I'm told that there are other people who are contending as well within the North Central. There's no person outside the North Central, based on the regulation, that will contest that. So we're saying that Deputy Chairman, go back to your position, let the North Central 2025. It has been eaten, so the North Central positions, the entitlement has been eaten into by almost a year. So people who can occupy that position and provide direction and leadership, and strong leadership for that matter, to this party. The leadership we have at the headquarters, providing that needed focus, purposeful leadership that will give any person any confidence. And so we feel that there are people who can do that. It mustn't be Suswam. Let it be somebody from there. We have very prominent people in North Central who have served this country in different capacities, who have the integrity and the character and the capacity to focus this party. Nigerians need a focused party, especially under the current bad leadership that we are receiving in this country. They need somewhere where they can have hope. Life is about hope.
It sure is.
If people see no hope, you see a lot of people just dying.
Is. And apologies for interrupting, but this is, we have exhausted the time. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. That's Gabriel Suswam, former Benue State Governor.